Hini noma, noma, noma.
Is there money in this industry of speaking?
I may not have touched 1 million in a day, but I've been gifted 2 cars. There are things that are taught, there are things that are caught, there are things that are bought.
Is it easy being Bennyhinn Walubengo?
It's interesting. My validation was now connected to women. And I remember the MC just lifted up their hand and said, today the book is 10,000. How many people are buying it? 9 people lifted up their hands. Then from the Fulis, I just saw it being washed away. So when people in class would say, I want to be a pilot and everything, me would say, I want to be hyper.
Do you want to be a politician? Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's go. Welcome to Beyond the Brand with me, Hannah G. And these are the moments that made us. Now, this is the space where I have conversations with amazing people doing amazing things, cultivating amazing and powerful brands. Now, in this space, we sip tea and we talk about the wins. We celebrate the glamour and the power and the money and the influence. But also, we go underneath. We talk about the hustles, we talk about the challenges and the struggles. And these are the things that I like to call the stuff beneath the iceberg. So with me today, I have an amazing, fantastic person who is a speaker. He is an author, and he is actually a person I really admire. He is young, but I really admire his work. He has gone on to do amazing things. I think he has a company called I Speak Society. He will tell us more about that. But before we get started, I want to pour you a cup of tea.
Sure.
We sip it and then we get into the stories.
Sure.
Is that good?
That's good.
Alrighty.
Yesterday someone told me that in politics, tea is a sign of trust.
Is it now?
Yes. That's why politicians, no matter what, if it's a conversation, you must have a cup of tea.
Okay, let's trust each other and have this conversation. Love it.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So I sip it?
Let's go. Now,
Okay.
first of all, I just want to hear about the name Bennyhinn. I've only heard that name with a very powerful evangelist.
Yes.
Why Bennyhinn?
So when my mom was in campus, she used to listen to a lot of preachers. Like really, she was, this person who was on fire for God. So she would read books like God's Generals and all that. So this time she had written, I think she tells me like a list of like 10 names that she would give me either. But now when she got in hospital and then they asked her, which name do we give? The only name she would remember from that list was Bennyhinn. Bennyhinn had just recently come in Kenya, like an year before. So my mom now gave me the name Bennyhinn. And even for me, it took me some time to actually know who Bennyhinn is. And it felt a bit weird to be called that name, especially at first, given that I was very different and opposite from that name. So that's where that name came from.
I see.
Yes.
I don't know another Bennyhinn apart from you and him. Do you know another one?
I've met now younger ones.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. There are also people who've named their children after me.
Oh, look at you.
Yes, there are people, I think right now I know 2 or 3 people who've now named their children after me. Right now, they are quite a number. They're quite a number, but younger. But like my age mate called Bennyhinn. Oh, the brother to Casmuel called Bennyhinn.
Oh, I see.
That's one of the reasons why, yeah.
Well,
yes.
Welcome
the
to
brother
the show.
Casmuel. So I've not met so many. I think my whole life, maybe I've met one person who's called Bennyhinn. So it feels nice, especially now when I make it Hinn, not Bennyhinn. It really feels nice.
Oh, like, when you say just Hinn.
When I say Hinn, it comes out in a unique
Sometimes
way.
you say that? You say my name is Hinn?
No, I don't say that. In the whole world, the people who call me Hinn are not even more than 10. Okay. But I don't tell people, because the people who call me Hinn are people who know me so well, like family or my friends. Even there are people, I think the whole world now, the people call me Wellamond. My second name are 2. Oh. Yeah, okay. 2 people only. So I don't tell people which name to call me because it's a psychology, because I discovered many people call me Bennyhinn or Beni. Those who call me Beni, quote unquote, are like fans. They don't really know me. So I just let you decide. Those who call me Bennyhinn know me from an angle of the great things. Those who call me Hinn are people who really know me so well. And then those who call me Wellamond, now that's even more dynamic. Then majority call me Walubengo. Yeah, so I've learned also to like categorize different people according to the name they call me. Yes, because also I've been reading a lot of books in terms of names and how people refer you. It's also connected to how they perceive you. So I don't tell anyone, call me this. I just,
Let them call you.
let them call me. I tell them my name is Bennyhinn Walubengo. Then I'll wait. So that after some time they'll start calling me Bennyhinn, or after some time they'll call me Beni. So I let it there. But when someone begins to call me Hinn, I get, yeah. But now because I've said it, that trick might not work.
I see. And I'm
Yeah.
sure there's somebody who's watching
Yes.
who does not call you Hinn and probably doesn't even know you.
Yeah.
The question is, with the introduction I made, is there anything you would want the audience to know about you?
Yeah, I'm a father.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a father. I'm a father to one, Takisha Malesi Walubengo. She's 5.5 years old. And what else? I study at Daystar. I study international relations and diplomacy. Also, that's another, maybe something else I'll share when it comes to like branding, because I had to defer from school for 2 years to focus purely on public speaking. So that's a price also I had to pay. I had to choose between either remaining a student or focusing on this other side, then come back later. So I'm a student. I study international relations and diplomacy with a minor in public relations. I'm learning horse riding, and what else? I think that's it. Above everything else, I'm passionate, just about affecting people when it comes to mindset, identity, and culture. Those are the three things I'm very big on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think when you say you are passionate, somebody wants to know where did it all begin. So maybe the question I would want to ask you is there a background story? When you think about your experiences and people that you met, I don't know at what age, are there things that are very memorable and for sure they shaped the man who is Bennyhinn Walubengo, the speaker today?
Yeah, there were I call them defining moments. There are about 5 defining moments that I can say are very key in my life. Starting from childhood, I can say when Obama won the election and also when Nelson Mandela died, I remember watching the news with my father on both occasions. I also have memories of reading a book called Sound and Read with my dad. He was very intentional about my grammar. Years later, that's when I came to actually load. By the way, these are some of the moments that were very key. My dad would insist a lot on me watching news and TV and then ask me, what have you learned? And sometimes I would get really angry. My mom would insist I write compositions after every Jamhuri Day or Madaraka Day. Presidents would pass like in a convoy. Then my dad asks me, which president is that? Which country? The president of Ghana. What's the name of the president? Then I'm like, I'm in pre-unit. You're not supposed to be asking me these questions. My dad taught me about number plates. So the red number plate is for the United Nations. The blue number plate is for the parastatals. By the time I'm in class 1, the first day we were going to school, my mom said, we need to cram their contacts. And my dad's contact and my mom's contact before you go to school. So that was the first assignment. And we were with my sister and we were memorizing the numbers. From that day, in my mind, I believed I'm intelligent. So by the time I'm going, I can say those were the very small defining moments. Then now going to school, I was running all over. I remember teachers were calling me hyper. I did not know the meaning of hyper, but everywhere I would go, they would say, this boy is hyper, this boy is hyper. So when people in class would say, I want to be a pilot and everything, me, I would say, me, I want to be hyper. Because I thought now hyper is a very good name, because it seemed a bit dynamic. So if people are being asked, do you want to be a doctor? Me, I say, me, I want to be hyper. So teachers would look at me like, you want to be hyper. So those are very defining moments. The second defining moments beyond school now started happening in church, I would talk and then someone would look at me. And there's a way in which people would say, your child is so brilliant. I would go with my dad at his work. I remember one day I went with him to Safari Park. We were 4 of us. And my dad used to work in the security department. So my dad carried me with his bicycle. The rest waliachwa watembe. Mi nikapanda baiskeli, which felt very nice. So nikapanda bike na yeye, then we arrived there. Then he left me at the gate. I think he had gone to pick something. Then these security guards were engaging me. So they were asking me, you see those questions they ask children, wewe ni mtoto wa nani, mtoto wa dadi ama wa mami? Then I was there and I'm saying, mi ni mtoto wa dadi, lakini mi ni mtoto wa mami. Then when my dad came back, they were like, this boy is very intelligent. So I began to hear people saying things about me that I'm intelligent and I'm all this. But then when now I delved deeper in school, class 1, class 2, class 3, things started happening, about now being called a noisemaker, being called a stubborn child. But before that, those were defining moments. Then now the next one came in class 7. Class 7, a teacher identified me to represent the school in public speaking. His name was Mr. Monica Callistus. We had been called in the staff room. I think those who had a bad handwriting, we had written a composition, I had gotten 13 out of 40. So I was called in the staff room to be punished. Then when he finished just caning us, he said, and by the way, there's a question you answered in class about dams. I used to hate every other subject apart from English. So when the time for English would come, I would sit at the front and answer every question. I was good in dictation. Remember, my dad had influenced a lot in terms of pronunciation and grammar. So I did not have a problem with grammar. Actually, at home, none of us has a problem with grammar. None of us. Even my sisters. All of us are well-spoken. We are articulate when it comes to grammar because my dad influenced that foundation because he was good in debates in high school, but he never used it as an adult. So I think he wanted to pass it on in a major way to us. My mom was also a teacher, a history teacher. At home, I could hear stories about Tom Mboya, Malcolm X. I would hear things about South Africa, Rivonia trial. So there's a way my mind was positioned. I knew about my rights. I had read the Basic Education Act. So I would go in school, a teacher is punishing me. I tell them, it's my right, you're not supposed to beat me like that. So teachers would also get angry. So this defining moment really shaped a lot because when I went to this room to represent the school, number one, I never wanted because I never believed I'm a speaker. But the teacher really persuaded me. He said, you speak very well in class. You raise up your hand. Remember, this time I'm bottom 5 in school. But this teacher saw something in me and he persuaded the other teachers to give me the permission. So I remember people were laughing in class, like, this guy will just be number last. He'll come back here. Because I was representing the school with another girl who was index 1. She was performing very well. Her name, I think, was Sally. So people knew that Sally would do well. And for me, I'll come back to school in the zonal levels. Then when we went in this room, I was given a paper. Then you were told, prepare after 3 minutes. My paper read, give a speech if you become the president of Kenya. What will you do? Remember, I've been studying about the United Nations. I know about devolution. So I aced that speech. The adjudicator was not supposed to clap, but they clapped. That's how good it was. So by the time I'm sitting, because I said things about the 47 counties, 14 chapters in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all those things. So they loved it. They said this guy is not speaking like a class 7. So now this affected my confidence, given that I lacked intrinsic confidence in school. So by the time I'm going to school, girls are singing for me in the bus for the first time. I'll come back to that because now my validation was now connected to women in terms of me being a speaker. It was not now natural. Because this is the first time girls are praising me. All through in primary, girls never wanted anything to do with me because I was not a performer, I was not a prefect, and I was not fast boarder. Now as a boy, when you're fast boarder.
And you were not in sports?
Yes, I was not in sports. Okay. I was an anti-sport. And then I don't have, fast boarder is a person who can beat everyone in class. Because those are the things that gives boys masculinity at a young age. Either you're number 1, either you have a watch, either you have a good bag. You see, a girl can ask you the time. And for me, my parents were not buying me those things that you watch. As long as you have uniform, you just go and work hard, love God. Yeah. So now, at this moment, I've gotten something where girls are celebrating me. 60 girls are singing for you in a bus for 3 kilometers. They're just singing, Hinn, Noma, Noma, Noma. And they're singing. And then I'm just seated there in a humble way, just receiving the songs.
The praises.
Yes. And then I get to school. And these are girls now who defeat me in class. But this time, I found something where I'm beating them at. Now, when I go to school, I proceed to the counties. I do well. I proceed to the regionals. Now, that morning, going to the regionals, I had a crush. Her name was Gloria Munalitsi. This girl was super beautiful. Then she said that I've stolen her sweater that morning. And people believed I've stolen the sweater, So, and then they found the sweater later, and no one apologized. So I cried throughout the way. Remember, the validation came through a girl. Now, the fact that it's a girl now who's also saying something else, and that morning I'm going to speak, it affected me. So I ended up being number 4, and they're picking the top 3. That's how I missed a slight opportunity to go to the regionals. So I came back in school, but I had already proven a point to the school. One, I can do something, and I knew that to myself, there's something I have to offer. Like this thing for talking, it's not really a joke. So I proceeded. The next time we came to school, first week, they're choosing the school president. Something just told me to write a CV. My friend said, we need a noisemaker, because the people who had applied were people who were like the top tier in class. So quote unquote ni watiaji, like ni wale watu wenye watenda waseme watu. And these people wanted someone who's like a people's person. So they said we need someone who cannot try to noisemaker, as in someone who thinks like us. So I applied. Then the head teacher said that my CV, I did not write the address on the right on the right side. I wrote on the left on the other side. So he was like, you've written on the wrong side, so we can't pick you up. So I said it's okay. Then I think 2 days to the elections, they now approved me. 2 days to the elections. Now it was an advantage. It was a disadvantage, but it played to my advantage. One, people had campaigned for 2 weeks using snacks. So their snacks were over. Number two, a friend of mine called Trump had just opened school the day before. So he had come with extra. Now he was like my Jimmy Wanjigi.
Yeah.
So he had come with extra funding in this case. Then three, me, I had momentum. Because now people have finished campaigning, they're tired. And it's like now for me, I'm starting. Because quote unquote, I was now like the Mike Sonko. Like I'm not so smart in class, but I'm really liked. And I'm liked for just foolish things because I come with avocado, I have Royco, very weird things. So I had momentum. So I ended up campaigning dangerously. And my campaign strategy was simple. I looked for people who have brothers in lower primary. I told them, you guys have ethos with these people. You are trusted. So let's go to these classes. You talk to your brothers instead of me going as a stranger. So he said it's okay because I knew I do not have a relationship with boys in class 1 or class 2. So I went to the people who have brothers in class 1. So when this person enters, they're first cheered because they have a brother there. Then I knew the psychology of children. They have to sing a name so that they don't forget. And the name of my competitors were longer. There's one called Beulah Musebe, but my name was so simple, Hinn. So I just went and said, I want you to sing Hinn for president, Hinn for president as you go home. My competitors were giving these kids 1 sweet. Me, I was giving kids 5 sweets each. That was a major deal. It affected because I now showed them I honor them. And then I gave everyone 5 sweets, the whole school. And for me, I was adding a biscuit. So kids went home singing Hinn for president. And I told them, if in fact you vote for me, you'll be eating 5 sweets every day. So kids said, this is the guy we want. So the day of voting came, and then teachers tried to steal elections. Then one teacher came and told me, elections are being stolen, they don't want you, but I'm going to give you extra votes. So your people will vote 4 times. So you are given some extra votes. So now by the time they're counting the votes were extra than the number of students in the school. Like the school had like 400 people, but the votes were like 600 and something. But anyway, I won with a slight margin of 1. So this girl was made now prime minister. So that she can keep me in check, because they knew if I become president, the school will be something else. So this was a defining moment, because this was my first time giving a speech as a president. Remember, my first public speaking I've given, if I become the president. Now I've become president. Then now I began speaking in school. Every time there's an AGM, they give me an opportunity to speak. I remember one day I've spoken before my auntie. Her name is Helen. After finishing to speak, she said, I did not know you know how to speak this well. You're super brilliant. And then I gave a speech on now if I become a cabinet secretary of education. Parents were coming and patting me on the back. Remember, I have nothing. I'm not good in sports. I'm not good in class. I'm average, but now when it comes to public speaking, I've gotten something where people are affirming me. Then I got KCSE 323, which to me was not something so good. Having my sister, firstborn, got a 368 in KCP and she cried for 3 days. So I knew if you don't get a 400, you're a failure. So getting 323, I'm the one who volunteered to repeat. So I went repeated. Now in this other school, there was a defining moment. I became a prefect immediately because now in this other school, I was a little bit focused. I was now becoming number 1. I was shining even in math. Then a defining moment came. I gave a speech during prayer day. This one was my first time to stand before 2,000 people. And there's an old grandmother, I think in her 90s, after I finished speaking, she was speaking in Kikuyu. She came and she spat on me some saliva. Then she held me and prayed for me. And she said, you'll rule this country. That was also a very defining moment. Very defining moment. I saw my dad crying. This was the first time I also said in front of my parents, I'll become president. So at this moment, as I'm standing before these people, I gave a speech. There's a speech that the teacher had given me. So I read it. After finishing to read, I folded the paper. I put it in the pocket, and then now I spoke my words, which was a very deep lesson in public speaking. There's a written message, then there's your message. So it's something that I even go by till today. I don't speak while reading. From that day onwards, it was a very defining moment. Number 4 came in high school in Form 1. We had a principal called Nabungolo. This guy used to give me 5,000 every time I speak on parade. So for the first time, I found people now who started appreciating the gift. And then now at this moment, I began now studying a lot of Malcolm X. I remember I found a piece of poetry by William Shakespeare. So I began now reading these Shakespearean speeches. Then I began reading pesetas. Then another defining moment came when I met a guy called Maina Chege. Tempesa Foundation, grade debaters, after finishing to speak on stage, and the judges are giving their comments and they're saying, oh God, this boy Bennyhinn, the video is still there. Bennyhinn, you'll go far. Bennyhinn. So their comments now began to intentionally pick. Like people were saying, Bennyhinn, you'll go far. Bennyhinn, you'll be this. Bennyhinn, you'll be this. So I began to intentionally pick them up. These were some of the defining moments as a child in school. And then now the top tier of all them all was meeting Vusi at 19. At 19. Because I had read about Vusi. I remember the whole meeting, I cried. At 19, when I was in high school, now 18, I repeated school again. I'll share with you also about my perspectives in terms of education. I remember I read a book by Vusi called The Black Dragon. And also there's another on Magna Carta of Exponentiality. During KCSE, I finished that book. Like I read it, I remember I could not even sleep. After finishing to read that book, I studied that guy, went and watched about 100 videos of Vusi. I finished his YouTube channel. So I could even know when a new video comes up. Then at 19, when I do my first event gathering 1,000 people, that night, the guy who had hosted from Ghana takes me to Vusi. So I'm seated here and Vusi seated here. 4.5 hours. I was quiet the whole time, but I was just in tears. That was a moment that now it stamped that there's something that I have in public speaking that's distinct. Those are the defining moments.
Thank you for sharing. So you are meeting Vusi at 19.
Yes.
And how old are you now?
23.
So you are reading very many books.
Yes.
And you also started writing books.
Yes.
Have you written 8 or 5?
8 now.
How? At 23, you have written 8 books.
Yeah.
How? When?
So, for me, I write from a place of action. Like right now, the way we are seated here, I've just picked up so many things. From the time I started talking to you, how my mind works, it's that it works from a very open place, because my heart, I can say my heart, my mind, and my spirit is so open. I can study a principle from a barber. When a barber is just shaving me, I can create 10 videos from how he'll engage, how he'll signal the guys and tell them, hey, there's a client who's come, or when the guys do a mistake, there's how I see my barber doing it. So what I do, I concentrate intentionally. Like the way I'm here with you, I've told you I've seen so many things. So many things, from the colors, how I came in, how you smiled, how you sipped tea, how your assistant Valentine talked to me, how she picked me from the parking, how she took charge of the conversation, how she's ensuring you're keeping time, how we are here and she's taken my phone. I've seen so many things. That's a whole curriculum on how to be an outstanding executive assistant. So that's how my mind works. So I've not positioned my mind in a way that I'm rigid. Because what happens, many people don't receive information because we are rigid. But my mind is so open. Like when I meet a child, I am so open. When I meet a waiter, I'm so open. So I speak from a place where I speak from a place of action, not just from a place of knowledge. So now, given that, for me, developing content happens consistently. Now, one of the reasons why Africans don't write books is because it's expensive. We can say, we wait for seasons and all that, but one of the reasons is because it's expensive. So I saw a guy called Dr. Mike Murdoch. The guy has written more than 100 books. Doug Heward Mills has written more than 300 books. So looking at these people, to some degree also created a template that actually there is a place where, because wisdom is flawless, it's continuous. It's not something that we don't operate with seasonal wisdom. The context is that you can be consistently wise, because if it's wisdom, it's not limited. And it's not limited to age. So one of the things I had to deal with is the age factor. And I also needed to understand that in my destiny as Beni, there's someone who is performing the destiny of one individual, but there are some of us who've been given an assignment of so many people. There are people who refuse to do whatever they were supposed to do. So what God does, sometimes he can get one person and say, you will do assignments of all these people who've refused. Now, in my primary years, I began understanding that principle. As Beni, one of the things that I have that distinguishes me is that I don't have the laxity of time. I don't have the laxity of thinking that I'm young. Because I found myself in rooms where people are 60 years old, 65, and they're asking me to give ideas. There's a time I trained a cabinet secretary, And she just began crying in between the session. So I asked her, what's the problem? And then she tells me that I've never thought a young person can be this wise. That's what actually touched her heart. So I began understanding that I am born out of time. So I have to think out of time. Everything that I do, I don't keep it in mind that, I am young. I don't play akiwishe. So that is the first thing that actually influenced the foundation of writing. I began understanding that concept. I remember the first time I wanted to write a book, my mom asked me, she's a curriculum expert. She asked me, is it necessary? Like, what's the problem? You can write later. Like, have we denied you food? Like, why do you want to write?
When your first book was when you were how old?
I was 17. Then I released it at 19.
What was it called?
Sprout.
Yes.
Okay. Sprout is a book that now introduced me to the world. I remember the total cost of production for the book was 45,000. And my mom was like, is it necessary? Are you sure even people will come for the book launch? And then I remember going to Sarova. I'm going to Sarova, Hilton. I walk to the marketing department. I tell them, my name is so-and-so. I'm 18 and I want to launch a book. And I would like to do it in your hotel because I've not seen any young person doing it. Actually, it will be a defining moment for you guys. Then they're looking at me. Then they give me a quotation. Then later on I met Pastor T told me now, Beni, what you'll do, go to Clarion Hotel, go talk to them. They'll give you a hall for free. Then you'll only pay for the tea for your people. Now you see tea, you're paying for it after the event. So I settled for Clarion. And then I just did it by faith. Then I began calling people. I went, I sampled everyone that I know. I wrote a contact list of 200 people, bought postpaid, and then began calling them. I told them I have a book launch. I even looked for the number of Sakaja, the president. I called everyone I could ever think of. I could get a contact of anyone who's famous. I called them and tell them I have a book launch. My name is so-and-so. Will you come? The day of the book launch, I had anticipated for 50 people. The people turned up at 280. Yes. So even for my parents, they were shocked. It's like they were not understanding who I was. Then in that process, I had a Fuliza on my phone. And I remember the MC just lifted up their hand and said, today the book is 10,000. How many people are buying it? 9 people lifted up their hands. Then from the Fuliza, I just saw it being washed away. And my phone had like 80 something K. And then people bought it at 5,000. I left there with like 180K. Paid for the venue, bought a phone. And then I had a girlfriend at that time, but she did me justice. One sure one. The whole week we were just going in restaurants, spending like 8K, 10K per day. So I learned a very heavy lesson. But
the money always.
Yes. So like that's where the book started. So after releasing Sprout, more conversations began coming in my heart. Books about, has someone written about a generation and how generations are different? Has someone written about how to network in a shorter period of time? So that's how it began.
You kept writing and writing.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking, I mean, I'm learning from you as well.
Yes.
Because my first book, it took me 3 years, I think 4 years to release it. And this second book that I'm writing, this is the third year, and this is when I'm going to launch it.
Yes.
So two books, 6 years, and you're over here.
Yes.
How many books? 8 books in how many years?
So like this year I have done 5.
5?
Yes, this day I've done 5.
What are you talking? Where do you get the time? And the reason I ask that is,
Yes.
Walubengo, you are all over the place in a very good way.
Yes.
And you're not just in Kenya, you are everywhere. And every time I check, you are busy because probably somebody else is going to answer your phone. You're at a conference speaking, you're doing all these things. First of all, when do you sleep? But not about the sleeping now. When do you write?
For the writing?
Yeah.
So how writing works, as every speaker speaks from 4 places. There is a speaker who speaks from created templates. By that I mean they either go look for books of other people, then they talk about it. So they have never created anything of their
original.
Own.
Okay.
Yes, nothing original. So created templates. The second realm, there are speakers who speak from head knowledge. So they have analyzed the information, then they speak from that head knowledge. There's a third speaker who speaks from a place of their own identity. So they speak from a place where they've gone through things, lived experiences, then they share. Then there's a fourth speaker who now speaks from something I call anointing or unction, where they're inspired by God. These are people who are highly spiritual. Spiritual, whether in terms of the God side or spiritual in terms of the other side. It can be both ways. So there are people who take time now to meditate. So like for me, what happens when you check my phone on YouTube, I have YouTube Premium. I've downloaded like 700 videos, back-to-back worship, it plays. When I'm sleeping, it plays. When I get in the car, it plays. So what happens, I've placed, as I've told you, my heart, my mind, and my spirit to be so open to receiving from God 24/7. So there's no moment where I say, "Ati God will talk to me at the start of the year." He can talk to me when I'm in the car. He can talk to me when I'm in the kitchen. In my house, worship plays 24/7. In my room, there's a Bluetooth speaker. In the kitchen, there's a Bluetooth speaker. When I'm in the bathroom, there's something playing consistently.
So whenever
Yes.
you are inspired, you're
yes,
writing.
yes.
I
And
get
then
it.
now I'm very observant. I'm very observant. So now what happens? I record everything that I have. Everything that I have. So I have this DJI microphone. So I record. So I'm not a good writer, I'm a good speaker. And I accepted that. So now I got a team to transcribe. So I speak. So because when I speak from a place of unction. Like you see this interview, we will flow. Like we can even talk with you here for 2 hours. Because for me, if I just get a person who aligns with my depth, I rarely get that. Like my whole life, this might be now like the second interview where I'm saying things I've never said. Yes. So deep calls unto deep. So when I get any person who has depth, they'll unlock something in me. I'll be able to speak, whether they ask me a question or something. So now everything that I speak, I take seriously. I record it. So on my phone, the notepad, if I show you the notepad, there are more than 1,000 notes. Everything I write, every day I write. And then I also work with rim papers. I have like 3 rim papers, stacks full. And I work with gel pens. In my bag, there's a pen right now. So I write on plain papers. You see where the Bible says, write your vision on plain paper. May I apply it literally, the way it is. So every day I have 1 hour where I write everything I know. And then also I build mastery. I don't save contacts, I master contacts. So I've mastered like around 80 contacts. Of the people I work with, my family, my friends, my mentors, I master contacts. So it also affects the subconscious part of my mind. And then also I try as much as I can not to forget places and things. Then I also try to keep quiet at a moment. And then if you ask me anything, I will expound. I will go wide. So it places my mind at a place where there'll be depth constantly. And that's now what helps me when it comes to writing.
And I like it. I really like how you are expounding everything because we are learning a lot. You're challenging me, and indeed this conversation is going really, really good. Now there's a young person watching and thinking, Walubengo's life is so easy. It's so fun. You know, Walubengo, has had adjudicators clapping, girls singing. He's fantastic. I want to be Bennyhinn Walubengo because his life is so easy. Is it easy being Bennyhinn Walubengo, the speaker?
It's interesting.
What is the interesting thing?
I'll not say it's hard.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's interesting in this sense that I would not wish to be even someone else. Like you would admire your life for various reasons. Your life is a bit interesting because I see you traveling, jumping with children. Your life is interesting. Like you're in different places, you're meeting different groups of people. Yeah, yours is a bit interesting. But there are people who I look at and I'm like, this person has money and everything, but I don't think their life will give me that thing. So my life is like a thrill. Like I've had very interesting, very high highs and very low lows. But I've also learned why. So I left home at 18 to go to Athi River, Daystar. That's the first time I left home. So I go to Athi River in Daystar. Within a very short period of time, I meet Henry. Henry tells me you need a marketing team to be selling your books because I took 1 month to deliver the book to him. So I pick up Henry. I meet another girl called Masi KP. I meet Andrew, a group of 5 people. My YouTube channel is at 500 subscribers. One day I'm seated in class and I think Daystar has how many students? 3,000. That means everyone uses this gate. How can my YouTube be at 500 subscribers and this school has 3,000 people and they all use the gate? There are no 2 gates. There's only 1 gate. So I say, from today, I'm going to stand at the gate. I'll hotspot you and give you a sweet. I'll stand there the whole day. As long as I don't have classes. And I'll get the subscribers. So I go and share the vision with Henry. And they say, let's do it. Within 3 days, I had 3,000 subscribers. 3,400.
Everybody subscribed.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The security guards, the chefs, everyone.
Everybody.
We moved around the school.
Yes.
When there's an event, basketball, we come hotspot you and you show us. And then I went and took my mom's phone. I created a WhatsApp broadcast. Then I took the link and then I sent all her contacts. My son has opened a YouTube channel.
That is so sneaky.
Subscribe and send a screenshot. Now you see that part of send a screenshot. So my mom just saw 70 screenshots. People are calling her everywhere. They think your son is so intelligent. My mother is like, intelligent? Said, wow, he speaks so well. So my mother got angry. But I told her, it's just the least we can do. So, so I can say now those moments were very defining. But the price I had to pay working with these 5 people, I'm the one who used to facilitate their lunch and their fare. So I did not have my own money. From first year, I've never had anything of my own. Everywhere I am at, even till today, I don't walk alone. I don't walk alone. So 5 people moving around, then we became 8. Then after 8, I now after some time, because of growth and all that, there's a time now we opened the company, Double B, and I was living with 16 boys in my house. Think living with 16 boys is easy. Boys, not girls. Food. First, let's just first talk about food. So every day I would spend like 7K. So I became a father so early. So there's a part of my childhood or being young I've lost. Like I don't know what it means to live alone. I've always been with people. I've taken care of people who are even older than me. So to some degree, there's a part in my life that I don't know. I don't own. It has helped me partly. But also on the other side, it comes with a lot of wounds and a lot of betrayals. People leave. You just wake up one day, someone left. Because I've lived with strangers. I've lived with a street boy. I just found him in the streets. I walked with him, mentored him. Then I picked him up, lived with him for 8 months. Then so many things happened. So I've also been wounded in the process in terms of trust. Also by the fact that I started a company at 20. And then we don't have resources. So also sometimes the belief might not be there. So I've had a lot of wounds in the process, people leaving, coming and going. The events I've done, and then after the event, someone promised you money, and then they just disappear, no one picks your call. I've done an event of 3,000 young people without sponsors. It was crazy. After the event, you have balances of 300K. You can't tell your parent. There are times I've also sat without food because I've gone to speak somewhere. I used the money for rent. I can't tell my mother. Deferring from school, I missed exams for like 2 semesters. So it was very intense. So I had to make a covenant with my parents to make it up to them. I said I'll pay school fees for myself now. So I moved from Athi River to now Valley Road because I was missing a lot of events. So I've lost in the process friends. I've lost just that time, things like playing. I never played. I could never do toys. I could never do movies. There's a time I did not watch movies for 3 years. I had never watched a movie. I had never done anything, you see. So those things that people can do or enjoy in campus, for me, I never enjoyed that. And also just being ahead. There's a way also you are treated when you go to class. Some of these people watch you, so you don't get very genuine people. And then also betrayals even at a higher level, Some people maybe who you would expect, they would be like a shield, a mentor, cover you. Now they don't handle you that way. I've been handled with hard knuckles where I needed nurturing. So it's not been easy. It's come also with a lot of intensity. And then now also back at home, I have to like constantly maintain that standard. So I found myself being a people pleaser at some point because now I've had to keep that standard. I found myself over-promising. I found myself trying to overcompensate in some spaces, also because of background. Sometimes I find myself speaking international schools. These kids expect you to be driving, expect you to look a certain way. So sometimes also I've had to like shelve who I am to be accepted in certain places because of age also. There are places where I don't say my age. If I say my age, I'm treated a certain way. So it's come with a lot, also its fair share of very intense experiences, especially the place of looking for acceptance and rejection, and then also balancing organizational needs. Because of also by virtue of being young, there are things that I had not learned, like organizational structure, all those things. So it came also with its fair share of losing a lot of people, massive deals and opportunities, which also came with very painful moments of falling, and now picking myself up was not easy.
I can imagine. And thank you for sharing that. Those are deep moments. And I think for every brand, those are the things I call that these are the things underneath the iceberg, things that people don't get to see. When people see you influencing on TikTok, you have how many followers again?
330,000.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So when people see you with 30,000 followers and on Instagram as well and Facebook as well,
Yes.
and going to all these places, I think these are the stories that people want to know. And also the other question I think people really want to hear is, you are a speaker. And you talked about there are some days you went without food, but that was prior. But the question is there money in this industry of speaking?
There is. Actually, the life of a public speaker is so unpredictable in terms of wealth creation. But it really needs a lot of understanding. There are days I've woken up, Hannah, And then I've woken up with like 6 shillings on my phone. Then I slept with 300,000. Yeah. Like you see, the life of a speaker is very interesting. That's why I've told you it's not hard. It's just interesting. Like there are times, there's a time I've gone somewhere to speak. So I had like nothing on my phone completely. Then by the time I'm finishing to speak, people buy books worth 180,000. So that's also a possibility. Like our life goes both ways, depending on you. This is the only, maybe I can say not the only industry, but this is that industry where you decide how far you go. Yes, like you're the one you're the working economy. You can decide how far you'll go. Like this year, there is a time I just decided to focus for 6 weeks. I just told myself, every day I'll be saving 20,000. Every day. When the sun goes down, I must save 20,000. I don't touch it. And that's how I bought the printing machine for my printing books. Just that simple, yes. I just said I'll focus for the next 6 weeks only. And every day I'll be saving 20,000. I don't even want to be ambitious.
So you are printing your own book?
Yes. I bought the printer. And the printer that printed my first book, I went and bought it. Yes, I went to that lady and I told her, I'm taking this machine, and I took it. Because, so like, there's that aspect. So like, it's an open realm. Now there's a guy called Joe Karaoke, because one of the things I had to look for public speakers who had gone ahead, including you. Like you're a template I study big time. Yes, that's why I'm here. Like I told you, I will cancel anything to just come and meet you. You know, because you are a template. Because now what you're doing, I feel like you're pioneering another generation now of speakers. You're now pioneering in a very profound way when it comes to like the excellence and dynamism and the kind of audience that you attract, very distinct. So I can say like I first had to look for people. Now there's a guy called Joe. So I went to look for Joe before he released 360 Seconds and Another Generation. Joe gave me a story of how he made 1 million in an event.
Tell me.
So he told me,
I want to make 1 million in an event.
Joe walks with a van.
Yeah.
So that van, Joe has written so many books. So these books, he sells them like at 350 shillings. 350. So a package goes for like 1,500.
Okay.
And he was talking to like 1,000 and something parents, and all of them bought.
Of course.
So he walks with a van. So that van has like
full of books.
It's full of books.
Full of books, yeah.
So Joe told me it's possible to make even 1 million a day if you want.
Yeah.
So it just took listening to a story. That's why I love stories. I love meeting people who have stories. Like one day someone called me and told me Hannah Githuki has filled 1,000 people on Zoom. And that person was so shocked. And I said, 1,000. I said, me just want to meet Hannah and just greet her. That's all I need, you know. So like when Joe told me that story, I was like, okay. Then Vusi one day also told me a story of, you know, how he's paid $50,000 to speak. So also hearing those stories, it had an effect in me. So I can say for me now, I may not have touched 1 million in a day, but I've been gifted 2 cars. Yes, I've been gifted 2 cars because of speaking. The first time someone gave me
the way someone gives you a honorarium of 20,000, this one is giving you a car.
A Subaru Legacy. It came at 21 when I was 21. Wow. Yes, it came when I was 21 as a gift. A fan on TikTok who had been watching me for 3 years. He just reached out to Pastor T and told him I want to give Beni a car. Then Pastor T called me at his place and I was given a car. The second time it happened when I was with a client, like the way we are shooting content. I was interviewing a client. We were doing for him a book. Then by the time we are finishing the meeting, that guy has given out 22 cars. Oh. Yes, like he has gifted so many people. So I was asking him, like, what's the principle behind that? So that guy taught me that his life, it's about giving. Like he knew what works for him is giving. So he would just be somewhere and God tells him, give that guy a car. Give that guy a car. So now he was teaching me on the principles of giving. Then when we finished, I told him, I thought in my heart, this guy was using which phone is this? Oppo. Then I was like, this guy should not be using an Oppo. He's blessed so many people. So when he was praying for us, I had 2 phones, an iPhone 14 Pro Max, which came as a gift again because of speaking. I spoke somewhere and someone gave me $500,000 and I had an iPhone 14 Pro Max as a gift.
Dude.
Yes. So I had an iPhone 14 Pro Max and an S23. So while we were praying, I just had a whisper and God told me, so you give him your phone. Then I was like, that's not God. That's not God. That cannot be God. Then when we opened our eyes, I just told him, take the phone. Kumbe, that guy had given out an iPhone 14 just a month ago. So it was like a replacement. Then that guy just said, call my wife. The wife came and said, let's give Beni the van. Then I was given the van. So that it happened for the second time.
And now you can take your books, put them in the van, and go sell them.
Yes. So like, so for me, the van came because of that. The Subaru came because of that. The third one, someone gave me $500,000. There's another one, and then because for being paid, I remember there are times where people have given me 150K, 170, 200K. I've also touched those figures. So I can say I've not yet hit the peak yet, but because of speaking, I've been able to create a whole industry to a level where now I pay 10 people salary.
But what is the peak? Is that the success?
No, that's not
how does that
that's
look
not
like
the
for
peak.
you?
There's so much more. You know, Proverbs 18:21 says, and a man's stomach shall be filled by the fruit of his mouth. That's what the Bible says. And a man's stomach shall be filled by the fruit of his mouth. Through the fruit of his mouth, he shall be satisfied. That means words are supposed to feed you. Words are supposed to feed you. Many people are only being fed by their hands and their legs. They're not yet still being, because we are fed from 5 realms: our mind, our mouth, our ears, then our legs and our hands. Yes. But Africans, we are used to, because of hard work, we're used to hands and legs. We don't really know how to use our mind, our ears, and our mouth. Ears, like a psychologist is paid to listen. That's ears. So a psychologist studies the art of listening. Then mouth, a speaker, an advisor, a strategist, you're paid. Then there are people who are paid to think. So many of us, we don't really tap into the mind, the ears, and the mouth. We only type into our legs and hands. Wow. So like for me, when I read that scripture, I went and wrote about 200 verses that talk about public speaking. They're in the Bible. Luke 12:12. At that very specific time, I'll teach you what to say. Colossians 4:6, let your words be full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to speak to each and everyone. There are many scriptures that talk about public speaking only. So when I went and meditated on them, I remember one of these days I'm just listening to worship and I'm meditating deeply. And God showed me a vision and he told me, I can give you nations through your words. But there's a way in which now you need to position. Like words are not just words, there's something called weight of words. You and I can say the same thing, but I don't carry the same weight as you carry. So like sometimes it's not about the word, it's about weight. Now, what gives your word weight, or what makes another person can talk and be given 1 million and you can be paid 10K for the same thing? It's about weight. Now, what is weight? Weight is about the experiences, the pain that this person has gone through. So we are paid also because of the weight that we carry. Because someone else can say, I love you, and you'll be like, okay. But another person tells you, I love you, and you begin crying. It's the same words, but the weight is different based on the person who's saying it. So what helps us to earn weight in the spiritual realm and also in the normal realm? In the normal realm of men, what gives you weight is the car you're driving, because in public speaking also results matter. The car you are driving can also determine what people will pay you. One day in Nakuru, I've been invited. I'm being paid 10K to speak. I show up in a Harrier, my friend's Harrier. Then they change, they give me 20K. I did not even tell them to pay me that. They just changed and give me 20K. Nowadays, I can show up in a place and I've not agreed with them how much they'll pay me. But I go and people give me 100K and they apologize just because of how you've packaged yourself. So in the normal realm of men, weight is about the car you're driving, you're dressing, how you're speaking, the traveling, the influence you command. In the normal realm of men, that matters. But now there is weight in the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm is the things you've done to people. It's about your heart. Have you forgiven? If you're bitter, you are angry, you've not forgiven your childhood trauma, you've not forgiven your exes, you're still trying to compensate and compete with people, it can also kill your weight in the spiritual realm in public speaking. Weight is also about your genuineness and alignment with God. 1 Chronicles 12:32 says, these are the sons of Issachar. They understood times and seasons and they knew what they ought to do. Are you in the right alignment of seasons? Weight in the spiritual realm is about also your consecration. There's a level in public speaking where you can't just eat. It's also, you must be able to sacrifice food. Because for you to become extremely a good speaker, you must sacrifice. For those who are unmarried now, sex also is a contributing factor. Sleep, food, company. Because if you are used to being around people, you can't master solitude. Therefore, it means you can't read for long. So all those things matter. Then comfort. So there is a price also you pay to gain weight. Once you're able to pay this price, in public speaking, you can even be paid 50 million. There's a guy who gave Miles Monroe a private jet because of speaking. Yes. So it's dependent on the weight that you carry. There are people who've been given gold mines because of speaking. Me, I know someone who's been given 30 million because of speaking. So I've been in rooms where I've seen things happening so quickly just because someone has spoken. Yeah.
Wow. That is profound.
Yeah.
And your words have touched my heart. And the question then is,
Yes.
how are you touching people's lives in terms of, we've talked about influence, we've talked about the money, that's the income. How do you measure the impact that you are contributing or that you are making in this country and even globally?
Outside. Now, before I will measure impact in terms of numbers, I always wanted to do big things also because of identity issues and background. Because I told you about overcompensation. Overcompensation is where you feel like I must pull up a big move so that people accept me. So like I would gather 2,000 people, 1,000 people, 3,000 people, and I would feel nice. But after some time, I began asking myself, these are 1,000 people. How many really come back, How many really come back to that place where they say, I was impacted in that event beyond motivation? Because from the onset, I did not want to be a motivational speaker. Because I was in school and I used to sleep when motivational speakers are speaking. Because you see, being a motivational speaker, you're superficial. You're talking from an angle of low surface. It's just about telling people you can do it, keep going. While it's good, there's a way in which you don't get to the root cause of things. And being a motivational speaker, you must please people. You tell them what they want to hear. But being an auditor, and it means you're carrying a message for a generation. You've understood your mandate. You're not all over the place. Like you see, I know if I want personal branding, I am going for Githuki. And Githuki can tell me personal branding in 1,000 ways. Like you see right now, this interview doesn't have a memorized questions. You're not following the script. It's very natural and authentic. Now, many people, because they have not accepted their identity and they have not forgiven themselves, they can't get there. Now, before I would measure impact in terms of, I gathered 1,000 people. But after that, I've now begun measuring impact in terms of 3 things. Mike means mindset, identity, culture. I must affect either of the 3. Either I affect your mindset, like you see right now, I'm in the studio and I'm with my clients. I'm with Susie and I'm with Fidel. Why? Because there are things I told them, there are things that are taught, there are things that are caught, there are things that are bought. There are things you have to buy. You have to pay for a class. You have to buy books. You have to pay for a flight and receive exposure. That one, no matter how much anointing oil we pour on your head, you just have to invest. Even the Bible says in Proverbs, buy wisdom and do not sell it. That's what the Bible says. So there's a level you must invest. That's what the Bible says. So there are things that are bought. There are things that are caught. Like I told Susie, there are things you can only see them as I'm doing it, then you catch. That's why the Bible says Elijah told Elisha, as you see me go. Because it was a matter of sight. You must see him going, then you catch it. Then there are things that you sit down, then someone gets to teach you. So there are those 3 realms. There are things you are taught, bought, caught. Now, after some time, I came to realize that I must affect the mindset of a person. What is mindset? Affecting your perspective on how you see life and how you see yourself. So mindset. So that's how I measure impact. Has someone changed how they see themselves and then how they see the world? That because the world is not geographical, the world is really in your mind. The world is not really geographical, it's within your mind. So I must affect your world. How you see the world is formed by eons. So I must affect how you see the world, and then I must affect how you see yourself. Mindset, identity. I challenge people's identity, and one of the ways of challenging people's identity is through results, because results make people ask themselves, "What am I not doing?" That's my goal. That as you listen to me, you'll ask like Queen of Sheba asked Solomon, "What I was told about you is not even half of what you are." So I must challenge your identity to go back into who you are. There are some who can be challenged by the books. There are some who will be challenged by the influence. There are some who will be challenged by age. There are some who will be challenged by different factors. But my goal is that if you see me, you must go back into your identity and ask yourself, is this my best? Then I also challenge culture. Culture is the accepted beliefs in a society and in a nation. How do I challenge culture? I challenge culture by disruption. So what does disruption mean? I stay in Muthaiga. My neighbors are people who are 70 years old, who've retired. When they meet me in that neighborhood jogging, they begin, they think maybe I'm someone's son. Then I tell them, no, that's my house. So they begin asking me, how did you move here? So I begin telling them, I moved here because of this and this. Someone has a son who's 30 years old and they have refused maybe to move out of their house. They say, come and advise my son. That's culture. You see, I'm challenging culture.
That's true.
My office is in Westlands. Yeah. We've opened a school in behind Braeburn in Dome. So even where my office is matters. If it's a car, I can't drive a certain car. I believe that I must drive a new car. If it's a phone, I don't just buy the phone from an angle of cheap. I buy the phone from an angle of destiny. So like in terms of culture, I challenge culture by making sure I don't do the bare minimum. I do what culture says is not possible. That's now what I go for.
Yeah.
Yes, that's now what I go for.
So is that what you're telling a young person who wants to get into speaking?
Yes, you must challenge culture. Because if you're not challenging, because God never called us to conform. Romans 12:2 says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Yeah.
You know, Bennyhinn, I love how this conversation is going, and we could talk and talk and talk. There's a question I want to ask you though. I've heard you, the way I heard you speak, you really you like politics. Do you want to be a politician?
Now, I can say I would want to be a culture shaper for now because our definition of politics, there's a way it is. I would say I want to be a culture shaper in politics. Like I want to influence conversations. Because you see, politics is about conversations that happen there. And also it's about the proven results that are already there, templates. Tom Mboya, at the age of 24, became a minister. He spoke at the Second Lancaster House Conference, and the Queen even thought he's the president. Kibaki became assistant minister at 23. What did these people have that we don't have? It's because they took time to study, they separated themselves, and they mastered a few things. In their 20s, they influenced culture in a major way. I think the youngest minister in Africa is 36. So I'm now thinking of how I'll influence culture in the political space. Because for me, my calling is in now from a national perspective in Kenya. Because how do we define assignment in 3 realms? For you as a person, what you've been called to, what you've been also called to do for your nation, and then your generation. So for my nation, I've been called in 5 realms: education, health, agriculture, governance, and there's a last one. I'll remember it. Education, I talk to teachers, health, doctors, agriculture, farmers, then the politicians, governance. Oh, security, police officers. Those are the 5 sectors that I'm focused on.
Now that you've said that,
yes.
If I asked you a question, who are you? What do you do? Who do you do it for? And why? Like in just 4 sentences.
Okay. Who?
So who are you?
Who am I?
1 sentence.
Perfect. I'm an ambassador of mindset, challenging mindset, identity, and culture. Who am I? Wait, let's answer that question again. You know that question is deep. You can't just answer it quickly.
Yeah, who am I?
Who am I?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to answer it vaguely at I'm a child of God. That I know I'm a child of God, but let me answer it. I think I am a disruptor. Yes.
What do you do?
What do I do? I speak, write, and teach.
Who do you do it for?
Perfect. For the young people, right? By young, I mean Gen Alpha, the Gen Z, right? Their parents. Those are the people I'm targeting. The Gen Alpha, the Gen Z, and their parents. Yes.
And why do you do it?
Why do I do it? Now, mindset. To challenge the mindset, identity, to challenge the mindset aspect, bring people back to the place of the original identity, both in terms of who they are and in Christ, and then now challenging culture. The last question was why?
It was why, yeah.
Why? Why? I do it for the glory of God.
Amen.
To be seen. Isaiah 60 verse 1, arise and shine, your light has come, Gentiles shall come to your light, and kings shall come to your brightness.
Amen.
Yes, and also Haggai chapter 2 verse 4 says that the glory of the latter days shall be greater than the glory of the former. So I want the glory of God to be seen in a different way.
Yeah.
It may not be from a church perspective, but the glory of God can be seen through influence. The glory of God can be seen through government shifting and all that. And I believe it will be done in our days.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know we could talk and talk and talk. I have enjoyed this conversation. Have you enjoyed this conversation?
I have, man. The time is up.
But I have one last question.
We've done 58 minutes.
Yes.
Interesting.
And I have one last question.
Yeah.
So the mic is off. The lights are gone. There's nobody in the room, and the curtains have folded. What do you want to be remembered for?
I really want to be remembered I want to be remembered as a man who introduced Jesus Christ in a way that the world never saw him. Yeah.
Amen. Well, this has been Beyond the Brand, Moments That Made Us with me, Hannah G. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.